All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Role Players. We have got episode 7 on deck for you today. As we did not get an episode last week, we do apologize for that. I was out for that episode, but we are back in the saddle. I'm not Reese Britt. I am Christian Hunt. No Reese Britt, as he is on the tee box in South Carolina right now, doing his thing.
In the home stretch.
Home stretch. We were just talking about it in crunch time, so he's on the last few holes there, so shout out to him again. But we got my man Dylan Walton to the right, Trey Whiteout in the saddle to my left. Guys, we're feeling good. Some big trade news.
Shockingly.
Shocking trade news. Not great if you're a Titans fan like moi.
Not great for any AFC South fan in general outside of the Texans.
Yep. But we'll get into that a little bit. But
I love sports. Oh, my goodness.
I do, too. It's always so
All
much
that
fun.
happened before noon today.
yeah. we were what were we doing? We were about ready to start Chat GTA.
Yeah, we were about ready to start Chat GTA, and that ended up showing up.
And then I just hear Trey go, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "Well,
I had the same reaction.
I was like, "I recognize that." Oh my gosh, because I remember it when Calvin Ridley got signed. But you were like, Stephon Diggs gets traded to the Texans, and I was like, "Oh, that makes my fanship for the Titans even harder." Not for the Texans though. The Texans are probably popping champagne bottles right now.
Man, they customizing ring sizes now.
Okay, let's not go that far. No, let's not go that far.
I'm going to wait.
Yeah, we're going to wait.
I'm going to wait.
All right, but what we're not waiting on is March Madness.
Yep.
As it is continuing for both the men's and the women's. We'll get to the men's first. As the well, you got to save your
the best for last. You know, I agree. The women's.
Well, not the last, but the middle.
In the basketball
category, yes, last. Yeah. But the Final Four set for the men's as we got Purdue, Bama, UConn, and NC State, of all people. So the Final Four is being represented by one SEC school, one Big East school, one Big Ten school, and one ACC school. So I thought that was kind of cool, a little bit spreading out. It's not all one conference. Let's see. Bama beat Clemson 89-82 to advance. Purdue took down Reese's Tennessee Vols.
It's tough.
72-66, but that was a great game.
That
was a great game.
It was a very good game.
I mean, Dalton Connect had over...
He had 35.
He had over 30, believe 36, and then...
Purdue had what? I mean, not Purdue. Edey.
Yeah, Zach Edey had 40 and 17 rebounds.
I think it was like 40, 16 rebounds, and
a
few assists.
It was a lot.
And a couple blocks.
Yep. He was all over the court. UConn took down Illinois 77-52, which that one, I watched that game. That was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Because, did you see that game?
No.
So this is what happened. So UConn
crushed, man, in that second half.
Yep. UConn and Illinois in the first half were tied at 23.
Yeah, I seen that.
And then they literally did not score a point. Illinois did not for like
I heard like
an
a
hour.
30-0 run or something like that.
It was a 30-0 run. So UConn was up 52 or 53.
Was it one of those?
It was like 53-23 by like 13 minutes left in this.
So the game was over.
Was it like one of those Mike Breen 30-0 runs or like well executed? Like
it was like they bled slowly to death, and it was hard to watch.
So one of those.
It wasn't a Klay Thompson. No, it was not a Klay Thompson where he just went bananas like
it
that.
Was just whatever
good
Illinois
defense, good offense.
Yeah. Whatever Illinois couldn't fall out of a boat and hit water. Okay. It was that bad.
And the weird thing is they're like one of the most one of the best offensive teams in college, right?
Yeah,
and then they just fell flat.
They just
like that.
They just had a stroke.
They're probably tired. They've been playing for the last 3 weeks.
UConn. I mean, everyone's tired. Dude.
I mean, heck, look at NC State.
But theirs probably just came at their time.
I guess.
They probably tired, man.
And then NC State took down Duke as their Cinderella story continues.
That was crazy.
They are on a tear, man.
What's so fun about that, and one of the reasons why I'm so rooting for them, is because this run, and I talked about it when I was last year on the show, it's so similar to their run that they won in '83 with Jim Valvano and that Cinderella team. It's literally the same exact script.
What I think I heard something about how their entire season was basically... if the season ended, whether it was way back against Louisville and Syracuse in the ACC championship or whatever, their entire season, if it ended there, they would have lost like four graduate students. They would have lost one of their seniors. They would have ended up losing their head coach, and then all of a sudden they go on this insane run beating, let's see, they beat Louisville, Syracuse, Duke, Virginia, North Carolina for them to just get their head coach to stay for another 2 years because there was a clause in his contract for that. But then they end up beating Texas Tech, Oakland, Marquette, and Duke. Like, I remember saying this to a Purdue fan. Yes, Purdue's the better team. I think they are just the better team. They are going to be the best team that North Carolina faces. They're not NC State faces. They're not scared. They aren't scared at all.
And they're playing with house money.
And out of every team, outside of obviously UConn, the one team in this entire stretch that I think UConn is legitimately kind of scared to face is NC State. For one simple reason, they're three bigs. You've got Diarra, Middlebrooks, and DJ Burns in there. If one of them's in
big homie,
yeah. If one of if your big is in foul trouble, you've got to take them out. You don't really have anyone else that could suitably substitute in.
They've got three legit big men.
They have three legit big men in there to be able to hang on and cover everyone.
And I don't think Middlebrooks, he left the second half. I think he came in like the 4-minute mark. I think he came in like the 16-minute mark of the second half, and I think he played like the whole second half. And for a big man, that's incredible.
Yeah.
You got to be in incredible shape.
Edie, he said he wanted them. So this is your time to prove that you are really one of them ones, because just like other people out there, I'm doubtful on him. I don't think he's going to be that very good at the next level. This is your chance to show not only can you compete with smaller bigs, but you can guard on the perimeter, because all of these bigs are not the same.
Yeah.
They play vastly different. So now it's because I paid attention to a little.
DJ Burns is in his own category.
Yeah, big baby Zebo. Real that way. He hoop for real. He get down. But I'm looking forward to see how Edie gonna pull up and play, because like you said, Trey, this ain't no cakewalk right here. This ain't just because you can win because you're bigger than the other person. Now it's basketball. Now it's the Final Four. Now this is, if you say you him for real, let me see. Let me put my binoculars on and zoom in.
And even better, it's not even like it's just their three bigs. It's also like their guards around there.
That's what I'm saying. You got
the other DJ
he's
Horn, really good.
Yeah, he went off against Duke. I don't remember the exact total, but it was like mid-20s points to couple with DJ Burns, who had mid-20s points. You have O'Connell, DJ Horn, Morcell, and
O'Connell's nice too. I like O'Connell because he's the one that hit the shot that kept him alive.
Yep, against Virginia in I think the semifinal round. And I don't know how they are just doing this, but they are somehow
magic.
It's a part of
March Madness magic.
A part of March, baby.
And even better, I think Taylor. I think he's one of their best players. He's been injured for most part. I think since the middle of the ACC tournament. And he's been on limited minutes. He's not really shot the ball all that well this entire run.
Yeah.
And he's not even at full power, and yet they're still somehow chugging their way through all of these really good teams. And
Dude,
are now
facing
their biggest challenge yet in Purdue.
Watch the 30 for 30 Survive and Advance, and you'll see Jim Valvano, Sidney Lowe, that whole cast and crew. Derek Wittenberg, and it's so cool to watch that one, especially with the effect that Jim Valvano has in basketball in general, with his fight with cancer and whatnot. But to hear them talk about the magic run that they went on, and to hear them actually talk about every step along the way, how it was like they were an inch from being taken out.
Yeah.
Just in the AC, like you mentioned, just the ACC tournament, and then just getting to the first round. They mentioned how the first round they were like, "Oh, we're playing in or who is it? It was Pepperdine."
Yeah,
and then they almost lost to Pepperdine, but every game along the way, minus like one, they were like that close to being knocked out, and that's the way. And I mean, NC State was able to beat Duke pretty handily, but still, it's very similar.
It didn't look like that at the start, though.
No,
Duke actually looked like it was. Duke looked like they finally cracked the code to them, and then that second half came around, and they put on a clinic.
They put on a show.
Yeah, and one thing NC State does well is they don't turn the ball over.
No,
they
don't make a lot of mistakes.
They do not.
They made a couple mistakes with like missing layups, but outside of that, they don't make like a lot of offensive mistakes.
Or
And defensive.
defensive.
Yeah, both ways. They've played extremely solid.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly, one of the announcers during the Duke game said something like, this is a team that's been building and building since the ACC
Because they're
tournament.
all juniors and seniors and graduates.
You know what to do.
They're experienced.
Mhm.
And we talked about that a couple weeks ago, how teams like that seem to always find their way to get in. They may not be the most talented, but they're the experienced group.
And then when you get in the tournament, and that 8 to 12 seed, that's really – you're good enough to compete, but you're just not Power 5, that really upper echelon, top tier D1.
You're not the best team in your conference.
Yeah.
I've never liked those rankings.
Or you had a hard season. Or, you got like the MTSU women. They play Conference USA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course you're going to get somewhere between 9 and 11, 9 and 12. And like NC State, they in the ACC, but who all you got over there? I know you got Syracuse,
Duke, Syracuse, North Carolina,
Clemson.
So they also had Wake Forest.
Wake Forest over there,
there was another team.
I don't know the conference,
but it's one of those teams that you're going to put at least 4 to 5 teams in the tournament every year.
And
I'm blanking.
But you want that 10, 11 because that means you really get the bad teams of one of those worser conferences. I don't know, but the bracket, it's its own little beast within itself. But you get what I'm saying, though. So they got pick of the litter right here. Now it's time. It's time to hoop now, and I'm excited.
Speaking of the brackets and its own little Madison himself,
so I walked
right.
We have an update.
I should just stay quiet.
We have an update for all those watching at home of our role players bracketology. Unfortunately, your boy's not in first, but he is in second. The first and the only person to still have their champion alive is this man right here, Mr. Trey Whiteowl. Granted, he did pick UConn.
Yeah, that was the safe and easy one.
And it worked.
It completely worked.
Everybody else's champion is knocked out. I chose Auburn, and I got knocked out the first round. Thanks, Yale. But I am in second.
Kentucky.
I am in second. Mr. Reese is in third. Paige is in fourth. You are currently fifth.
Yep.
And then Isabella Christensen, choosing the Creighton Blue Jays, is in dead last. Yeah. But
I had Creighton going far too.
That means, and I mean, we've already done the math. You're gonna finish last out of me, Reese, and you. So that does mean that somebody has to order themselves a Caleb Williams T-shirt. And the next time that they appear on the show and they have the shirt, they have to wear it for the duration of the show.
We're going to be holding to you.
So is there any words you want to say to commemorate this moment? Or
it was a hard-fought season or a hard-fought bracket. A lot of upsets, a lot of disappointing play. I wish I was a part to save myself from this misery that I will be enduring soon. Caleb Williams, this is no personal attack on you, my brother. This is a football attack. I'm not a fan. Really don't like you. I hope you shut me up because it's football-wise, I'm not a big fan, man. Personally, we can kick it, we can cool, it's fine, but I got to wear a shirt with your face and your jersey on it, and I'm dreading that day. So it is what it is, man. I don't think I've ever wasted $20 so bad in my life, but
just a
it is. I'm already sad and depressed, and that's the icing on my cake. So congratulations.
I didn't know it was going to be this bad.
At least you're the number one pick. I'm just a college student, so.
Oh, goodness. I love how you looked in the camera, too. Like, you fully just embraced, like, the monologue.
I didn't want to look because tears were going to come down. So I tried to, I got 4 eyes for a reason. 2 up northwest, 2 down southeast, I tried to. It's fine.
That might be the funniest moment on Role Players history to this point.
Man.
Oh, we got to do more bets. That's hilarious.
It's fine.
It was just.
I don't want to attack you personally, but let me just go in on you about how I don't like you for 5 minutes. Oh, that's gold. That's going on the socials. Speaking of socials, you can follow us on Role Players at APSU for both Twitter, aka X, and Instagram. I guarantee you that clip is going on both. I will personally guarantee that clip is going on the socials.
I'm going to put that in my resume, in my portfolio, actually.
Please give us a follow so you can see that clip again and again and again and again. I hope that pops up on ESPN And
Hey, you know, what if he busts and that really does pop up on ESPN?
That-
And then I'll look like the genius.
oh yeah, you'll be a genius. They'll be like, this guy knew all along. What were we listening to Adam Schefter for? Or what's? Oh man, God, that's hilarious.
That's the truth.
I like you.
I
But
don't want
here's
to
the
attack you
reasons why I
personally.
don't like you.
I don't want to attack you personally, but here's a laundry list of reasons why I
I'm
don't
not
like
a fan,
you.
bro. Did y'all see that video? He was like, I know y'all seen me with the phone case. I ain't gonna lie, the pink iPhone is tough. I'm not hating on that.
I hate on it. I'm like,
Nah,
that's
I think it's tough.
I
nah.
just don't care.
But I'm just not a big fan of the football antics he got. Maybe they'll change. You know, I'm liable. I'm a sports fan. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's cool. I go tweet at you. I'm the king of tweeting. I've already tweeted you, Caleb Williams, plenty of times. So if you shut me up and I'm wrong, I'll tweet you again. Have you seen it? Probably not. Do you care about me? Probably not. But I care about you. So, and that's the reason why we're fans of the sports world. Because we care about
God.
people who don't really know us.
Yes. And speaking of being fans of people we don't know, man, we got a ton of segues today. This is great. Makes my job incredibly easy. Women's March Madness, which we know
What really
you're
matters. What really matters.
What really matters to this man, at
Yes.
least, to this gentleman right
Make me
here.
happy
That's
again.
because he didn't make a bracket for this one.
No, he did make a bracket.
Oh,
He's
he
done
did?
really well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I probably done.
But granted, there's what, 2 number 1 seeds in the women's bracket, or is there 3? Because it's
South Carolina.
You got
Iowa-
NC State,
Iowa.
South
No, Iowa's a
Carolina,
3 seed.
Iowa, and
Oh yeah, no,
no.
Iowa
let's
won.
see.
I was a 1 seed. No,
I-
yeah.
I was one. South Carolina.
You've got NC State, South Carolina, Iowa, and UConn.
And NC State's a 3 seed, and
UConn's
a 3 seed.
So just 2 ones.
So, yeah, but I mean that's still pretty good.
How many in the men's? Just 1.
Purdue and UConn, so
2. So it's tied up. You over there trying
Yeah,
to
but there's
hate.
also- but
He
there's
over there
al-
trying to play.
But there's also an 11 seed in the men's. There's not an 11 seed.
Oh,
in
it
the
would have been a
women's.
12 seed if the referees ain't give Angel Reese and them 2 extra games. I'm not hating. I'm not hating
Hey.
Angel Reese.
That's and in
Yeah.
their eyes that you are.
Yeah, I'm not hating Angel Reese.
It's the good guys versus the bad
No,
guys.
I
and
was
the-
calling-
and apparently the
calling a spade a spade.
the
Calling
good
a spade a
guys
spade.
apparently won.
Calling a spade a spade.
The good guys.
Savannah
being-
Wheeler was putting Angel Reese in pick and rolls till she went cross-eyed and she couldn't see which way she was going.
Well, the good guys. If the good guys are Caitlin Clark, they eventually prevailed.
I'm gonna let you go into. I'm gonna let you lead
Yeah.
us into there.
But 41 points for Caitlin
Yeah.
Clark, 12 assists, 7 boards. End of story.
Yeah.
So they get the win over LSU, 94-87. So the rematch is now said and done. Caitlin Clark and Angel did give a hug
Yeah.
to each other. They did say they don't hate each other,
They don't.
which I didn't think they did. I guess people took too much into the trash talk. But it's you're in the heat of battle. Who cares?
It's a good thing I'm not D1. They think I hate everybody.
I think they think that now.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you do in the game of sports. You're supposed to trash talk. You're
Exactly.
supposed to.
And hey, Angel Reese did not play a slouch game either. She had 17 points and 20 boards. So Iowa will face UConn in the next matchup. And speaking of UConn, Paige Buchers and UConn edges out Juju Watkins 80-73.
Good game.
Paige Buchers 28 points, 10 boards. Juju Watkins 29 points and 10 boards. So both Final Four games will take place in 2 days on April 5th.
That's Friday, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So what are we thinking for these games? I'm going to predict an upset. I'm saying South Carolina goes down in the Final Four.
You know what?
I'm taking Iowa, but
South Carolina takes down NC State. You say?
NC State takes down South Carolina. Yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
My film study has been reaching me towards the same as well, Christian.
And very nice point by Paige Hearn, who texted me. I did see this earlier today, but I appreciate the shout out, Paige. Angel Reese did declare for the WNBA draft.
And can I speak on that?
Yes.
I'm gonna speak on that. Now, the camera's on me. My glasses have been crooked. I sleep in them a lot, so that's why I keep adjusting them. I don't mind. It's fine. New one's coming soon.
Go ahead and speak to the camera again.
Yeah, but the thing with Angel Reese and her going to the WNBA draft, I don't have a problem with it. I'm starting. Y'all know I watch a lot of basketball. That's what I watch. I watch a lot of boxing as well. But I'm starting to see deficiencies in a lot of people's game including Caitlin Clark, but she can do whatever she wants on the court because she drops 40. So she can have deficiencies. That's fine. But I expect so much from Angel Reese in this upcoming step. Footwork, jump, being able to guard without hands in the pocket. I'm expecting her game to take a gradual leap in the WNBA. I think it's going to be very hard, and I think the narrative with her in these upcoming years in the WNBA is she's not good. She should have been a social media influencer. I think it's going to take time, but I think in 2 to 3 years we're going to see a completely different player in Angel Reese.
You know what? I saw a take by Sam Acho this morning on their show. I can't remember what the name of the show is, so I apologize.
I think I know which one you're thinking.
He said,
"Isn't it like speak for yourself?"
Yeah,
or
speak for
something?
yourself. That's it. That's the one I'm thinking of. But he's on it, and he said a great little monologue. It's like 2 minutes, and he spoke to Angel Reese. He said, "Listen, take politics, take racial,
All
everything
that stuff.
out. I'm speaking to you as a person. You can't have it both ways. You can't complain about how people treat you, but also be the self-proclaimed villain.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take the good with the bad."
Yeah, you do.
And I think with Angel Reese, she's come out and said that she hasn't been happy in the past year because of people,
But
how they treated her.
She's learning.
But you also can't be the bad guy and not, because what's the bad guy? The bad guy is the one that no one likes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to root against the bad guy. So if you're going to make yourself the bad guy,
You gotta embrace it.
you have to embrace it.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have I'm the one that's doing the John Cena to Caitlin Clark. I'm saying how many points do you have to player on the bench?
Well, how much money you got?
How much money do you got? You can't have that. And then when somebody talks trash to you or criticizes your game in a fair way, you can't say, well, I'm being criticized, so it's not fair.
Well, yeah, but I think I ain't gonna lie, because to a certain extent, I heard they've been sending death threats, and I'm gonna be honest.
That's wrong.
As much as I just said all that about Caleb Williams, at the end of the day, he's a human being and he's a football player. It's not that crucial.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's not that crucial.
That part of it is where it's
Yeah.
like that crosses a line.
Yeah, and I think that's why she is not happy, because people doing this over basketball. It's not that
Right.
crucial.
It's not
That's
that
the
crucial.
bad thing about fans in general.
Yeah, it's
Just
not that crucial.
some of them take it way too personally.
But there
way
is a
too
difference
far.
between that when someone is sending you a death threat,
But
and that
regular
is,
criticism.
and that is something to take seriously.
Yeah.
But when you have
Regular criticism.
regular criticism and then you get mad at that, that's where
when it's
Yeah.
that's where you have to.
Oh,
be
I
like,
knew what you were saying, but I know other people, it can be twisted sometimes.
No, and I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
you, and I want to make that clear
Yeah.
because that is wrong.
Yeah.
If you're sending a death threat as a fan to just a player,
She's a 20-year-old woman at
Yeah.
the end of the day. All she does
you
is
shouldn't
play
send
basketball.
death threats to anyone.
anybody. Yeah.
Doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah, facts.
But I mean, that was
They was tripping. They was
yeah.
tripping.
I don't know.
Just-
LSU has been in
just
the
the
headlines.
Just the thought of someone sending death threats,
It's stupid.
it's
Why?
very
Who
stupid.
can't? Hey, your team lost, or you don't like someone. Like
I would be laughing if I was in
I
this.
don't like
I got
Brady
fresh
Mahomes. I don't like
Jackson Mahomes.
Jackson Mahomes. I don't like Patrick Mahomes Sr.
But you wouldn't ever
I'm
send
never
death
going to
threats
send
to
them a death threat.
That is crucial.
I'm going to tell them that I don't like their antics and how it takes away from Patrick Mahomes.
And I'm going to at them on Twitter.
But I'm not going to send them a death threat.
Yeah, it ain't
That's
that crucial.
so stupid.
Or my tweet will not consist, I hope you die.
yeah.
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 Yeah, that's so silly.
Yeah.
So I want to make that clear. But I thought that Sam Acho had a great point.
He did.
I thought
No.
he said it perfectly.
Yeah, because she can struggle, bro, at times. And there have been a lot of times I've witnessed. I watch women's basketball often. I try to find one day, a couple days for a game. Like how you do with baseball, like how you just watching right here. You
Yeah.
got you a quick little peek. I'm pretty sure when you get in the car or whatever, you're going to put it on the radio or something.
Yep.
So that's how I am. So I'm always churning the horses in here. I'm always going. So, but I'm extreme. And then the draft is next week. The WNBA draft is on the 15th, 16th,
I believe
17th.
it's around there. Yeah.
one of those days.
Yeah, very quick.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. So
Quick
she's
turnaround.
jumping right back. She has no off season.
Nope.
She has no off season. So we need to see results of something. We need to see hard work because now you're a professional athlete.
Yep.
You know, she did it in a very beautiful Black Queen way in Vogue magazine, you know, with a beautiful caption and all that. I just want to see you hoop, baby girl. This is my letter to Angel Reese. I just want to see you hoop, sweetheart. I just want to see you, no antics, no responses, no Twitter, Instagram posts. I want to see you play basketball and be a dog, because that's what you is. She a dog. At the end of the day, as much flack as I give her, she a dog. But I give her that much flack because I really want to see her hoop. I know she can hoop.
Paige says draft day is April 15th. So
15th.
Again, shout out to Paige. But it's like you said.
Caitlin Clark and all of them.
It's like you said. And it's like Sam Ancho said. If you're going to paint a target on your back, you can't get mad at people shooting arrows at it.
Yep. And can't be mad when you get hit, too.
And when you get hit, you have to take it in stride.
Yeah.
And that's and I think you made a good point how her game is going to take longer to translate to the WNBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, she's kind of like Zach Edey. She's a true 5.
Yeah.
So there's no threat from outside. There's really no threat from mid-range. She's going to get you rebounds, and she's going to get you some blocks, and she's going to get the occasional
points,
pick and roll
yep.
points. That's it.
Yeah.
So she's going to have to evolve her game in the WNBA to last.
I've seen it a little bit. I've seen it. It's here and there, but I think the W will bring it out. I think
and it has to, because like you said, if she struggles, she is one that she's painted a target on her back. If she struggles in the WNBA, she will not hear the end of it.
Yeah, she won't.
So she's got a target on her back. But like Caitlin Clark's got a target on her back, but for different reasons.
She's Kobe Bryant psycho.
Yeah, but for different reasons, because she's the number 1 player.
Yeah.
So she's got a target on her back for different reasons. Yeah. Angel put that target on her back herself.
But that's fine though.
That's
she a big dog. She a dog when
that's
you a
fine.
pit bull.
If you can back it up.
Yeah. Which she has.
I'm good with.
Yeah.
But in the WNBA, you got to back it up even more.
Yeah, that's a different type of back it up.
I see. The only reason that I said come back to the
Me too.
Because you're going to make just as much money with NIL as you are with because you can make the endorsements now anyway. You don't have to go pro to get the endorsements.
The salary is just extra.
Yeah, that just the salary is like a little chump change for her.
That's her Chanel bag.
Yeah. But
must be nice.
You can come back, try to win another championship, get more NIL money, improve your game, then go to the draft.
But she says she's ready. I can't.
If you're ready, hey, go for it. Yeah. I wish her all the best of luck in the world.
But I don't want to give the superstars too much attention, because it's not about the superstars.
It kind of is.
Yep. It is.
Nope.
It is.
But 100% is.
The women's basketball, everybody need to see all the limelights there is.
Before we go to the NFL, do you think Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, down the road, Juju Watkins, do you think they can turn the WNBA into an actual watchable program?
How many minutes we got in this?
Oh, we got a lot, but we do want to talk about Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, no, that's real. Okay, me and my roommate was talking about the other day. Caitlin and Angel are like a tandem, and the 2003 draft with LeBron, D Wade, and all of them, right? Mm-hmm. This is that movement for the W. This is, you have Caitlin Clark, you have Angel Reese, you have Rakia Jackson, you have Cordoso, you have Edwards. Well, she coming back, but
that's right. I keep forgetting.
But potentially,
I think she made the right decision, though.
Yeah, I mean, she could have made whatever decision would have been right, because she that good.
What was the stat or whatever that said that the WNBA was already starting to see numbers that it hadn't seen in a while?
The Fever, their season tickets have already sold out.
Yeah. So
because of Caitlin Clark.
I got tickets.
Yeah. So add that into
for the 25th. I got checked.
Okay.
It's a home game, so I'm gonna go up there.
Nice. Right. Are we coming with you?
Yeah, I want to come on. You gotta get your tickets though.
But,
tickets are
but you mentioned it, right? And before we get to the NFL, when is the golden age of the NBA? Magic Johnson, Larry Bird.
Yeah.
That is like what's considered the golden age. And then LeBron comes and he kind of, or not LeBron, but Michael comes and does his thing and kind of just destroys everybody. But the golden age of the NBA is very much considered.
But he kept it going.
Right. But the golden age is what everyone's considered. It was Magic versus Bird, where there's two people that everyone's like, hey, we got to sit down and watch these two play.
This is it for the W, Caitlin and Angel.
And then now, can we get it for the next level?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, because we got Juju.
Down the road.
We got
Paige around the road.
Paige next year. You got Aaliyah Boston, who's already in. You got Deja Fair from Syracuse.
You got your girl Sabrina.
You got Sabrina. You got Brianna. You still got Asia and Chelsea and Kelsey. And still got Alyssa Thomas. Still got Jewel Lloyd.
You got to create storylines.
Yeah.
That's
Ella Della Don. You got to
create storylines that's not, hey, we want to be paid more. When you keep beating that drum, it's like, all right, everyone just.
It ain't going to work.
It ain't going to work. You got to create storylines.
And this is it. This is the golden era right here. We'll see in 3 years how well did it work.
And I hope it does.
I hope it does.
I hope it does too. Yeah.
I'm ready for the fever. Oh my goodness.
All right, so we are going to talk about baseball a little bit. We're not going to spend as much time on it, but so right now, opening day is come and gone. Some notable teams. The Astros have gotten off to a slow start. The Dodgers are in the storyline for other reasons.
Crazy.
The Yankees and the Braves are obviously doing their thing. But so the Ohtani gambling story, we'll talk about it a little bit. And we got Baseball Man right here to kind of explain it to us. But from what I understand is that Shohei Ohtani, he's under investigation by the MLB regarding a gambling case involving.
He is not his translator anymore.
But he's being investigated by the MLB.
They're both getting
but obviously he's part of it.
More so Ohtani now for news.
So his interpreter, which also apparently handles his money, which I learned today because he was explaining it to me.
He basically handles everything for Ohtani.
So he withdrew $4.5 million to pay a gambling debt. And Ohtani is stating that he did not know about the gambling debt and did not know about his interpreter gambling and having this massive debt. Oh. His interpreter is saying that he did know and that willingly gave him the $4.5 million. So that is what the big hubbub is about.
That's more than some hubbub.
So
you said 4.5?
4.5.
Oh my God.
So Ohtani could be facing felony charges and could face jail time if all the charges stick, along with a lot of fines.
Know how many? Oh my Lord! Hold on. Woo. You know how many years he would possibly get if he went to jail?
So I think a year is what they said now.
Ohtani can do a year in Fed.
But that's a year in jail that you're not in playing baseball.
So he wouldn't get banned or?
Well, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier because with Pete Rose, he directly gambled.
He directly gambled on baseball when he was a player and manager for. He directly gambled with baseball when he was a player and manager, and so far from what everything has stated, everything has stated, is Ippei Mizuhara has not gambled on baseball. He's gambled on football, basketball, etc., but he's not gambled on baseball itself.
But where he could get in trouble if he gambled on baseball and Ohtani gave him insider information.
Yep.
That is where Ohtani could be facing some issues.
So Ohtani is only involved if baseball is involved.
Yep. It's essentially if baseball is involved, he's in trouble.
So basically, he got to find him a new
translator. They've already found one for him. I don't remember his name, but
he needs to find somebody else to handle his money.
And that's one thing I looked at him and I was like, why do you have your translator handling your money?
Probably because he can't speak English.
I understand that, but like, should you not have an accountant?
Ohtani can't. I could have sworn I heard him speak English before.
I mean, he knows like a couple words. He doesn't. He does like the New Balance. He can do like the We Got Now.
But he really can't speak English.
Nope.
I could have sworn I heard him say like a whole paragraph or something in English.
The funny thing is, the first time he actually learned about it was after the first game of the season against the Padres in South Korea. Was it South Korea? It was in Korea.
It was Seoul, South Korea, I believe.
Okay, and then he went into the not the dugout, but the clubhouse, the team clubhouse afterwards, and then sat up and said that there's going to be a story about him coming in soon about him gambling, his gambling addiction. He had it. He owed some money, and then said to the entire team that Ohtani knew about it and was helping pay for it. And apparently Ohtani had not, and this was said in English, so Ohtani didn't really understand it, but from what was said, he apparently understood enough. So they ended up talking in his hotel room afterwards, and then the entire story or whatever came out. His lawyers got involved. It's just been a mess. And
it does suck.
And it's the sad thing is, and I remember there was some baseball on like this daily talk show I listened to on the radio coming into campus. They said he's so incredibly nice that he probably would have helped him regardless of it. So it's just
I mean, he just signed $700 million. You know what I mean,
yeah. It's just
what's 4.5 to 700?
Yeah, but it's I mean, you still don't want to give it to somebody.
Well,
it's also
For a
direct.
gambling debt.
I'll give it for it, but that's easier to go against your case.
It's also the trust factor on it. This guy has been basically your best friend since you came into the majors, 6 years ago? And now you're just all of a sudden hearing he's been technically stealing your money and
you could
using it to
potentially go to
gamble.
jail.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Free
a
Ohtani, bro.
gigantic breach of trust right there.
Yeah,
Free
it's
Ohtani,
just-
bro.
That's a tough story.
On the first week and a half of baseball.
Yeah.
On the first day of baseball.
Yeah.
And it's a story that we shouldn't be talking about. We should be talking about how he's playing, how he's
been playing
his,
decent.
His new team.
He's been playing all right.
Yeah.
Not amazing.
Yeah, but
but
decent. Yeah.
Well,
he's been
he's
decent.
got a big old cloud hovering over his head,
Yeah.
which I'm sure is affecting his play.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even play.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play.
All right. So the rest of the time we're going to talk about the NFL. I had
Come on, how much
for
time
the
we got?
cameras for. I'm looking at the camera now. I'm going to look at the camera now.
Yeah.
I had this whole rundown set up. You see this? This is basically a whole page of NFL drafts because
He
it's
scratched
what we
everything.
were going to talk about. That's gone because Stephon Diggs got traded to the Houston Texans.
Yep.
So that rundown is in the garbage can.
Yep.
So
Let's talk about it.
what
boys.
was the terms? It was a second-round pick.
A fifth and a
It was
sixth.
Stephon Diggs, a 2024 sixth-round pick, a 2024 fifth-round pick, and getting back a 2025 second-round pick. So they only got a second-round pick next year. They gave them Diggs. They're also paying them
Two
they're
picks.
taking about $31.1 million or $31 million in dead cap on their own terms.
No, that's
it's-
when I seen it. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he didn't want to be there. Or they
Well,
didn't
you
want
also
him
got to
there.
remember Stephon Diggs is 30 as a receiver.
Mike Evans is like 32 and just got paid $27 million.
To
That's
be fair,
true.
as I'd say, Stephon, no. To be fair, Mike Evans is just the pinnacle of consistency. Like, is it? I'm pretty
Is
sure
Diggs not though?
not as much. the
Not-
past few
well-
years.
That's Allen's fault though, right?
It's kind of
It's both. It's both.
It's both.
It's both.
Because this has been, I think this past season was Diggs' worst year, and then Allen was being considered for a
MVP.
possible MVP at the end of
I
the
don't.
year.
I don't know. I don't know how they just.
Fumbled.
But see, the thing is Diggs had a falling out with Kirk Cousins as well.
Yeah.
So now,
Hold on.
So now
gonna let
he's
you fin- yeah.
so now he's had a falling out with Josh Allen. So, I mean, is it on Diggs? Like, are we gonna look at Diggs and be like, hey, maybe he's the problem? So, I mean, Diggs. Don't get me wrong. Diggs has always had good numbers. Like, he's never not been.
He's been kind of lackluster the past 3 years, but
I don't know about 3, maybe.
well,
maybe
if we're
2
basing it off of
years.
1,000-yard seasons, then it's been the past 3 years. But
Yeah, because he got 11, 14, 12, 15, 11, 10. All of them in a row.
and
Yeah.
then the
That's
last
8 in a row.
Then I think what the last 3 was like
6
800.
in a row.
What was it, like 800, 830, and then about 900 this past
Yeah.
year.
No,
It's
now
just-
Mike Evans is literally like going in the Hall of Fame.
He's
probably
first ballot as
Yeah,
soon
he
as
is.
he's
That dude
able.
is literally the textbook of consistency.
But I mean, is that quarterback, the quarterback and wide receiver with Stephon, Kirk, and Stephon and Josh? Is it? Let's be real. CD called out Dak week 6, week 7. Tell me, give me the ball. He got the ball.
Well, he really called out Mike McCarthy more than Dak.
Well,
Yeah.
both. They both got to give him the ball.
Right.
They got to call the plays. Dak got to throw it. You got to give him a chance. That's your number one. Every chance that I remember from Stephon getting was double, triple teamed. That's not a chance. I'm losing that battle. If I come up with that, I get praise. If I drop it, I was double, triple teamed.
Yeah.
That's not fair to me. That's not fair to me. And most of his chances was like that. I don't think that's fair to say he's a quarterback killer. I ain't say that. I know you ain't say
He's
that.
not a
but,
quarterback killer,
but that's gonna be the word this summer now.
but he's had a falling out with 2 quarterbacks that are very highly respected and highly liked too.
One more makes him a quarterback killer.
Well, I mean,
CJ makes him a quarterback.
shoot, one more and he's retired.
Don't do that.
I'm saying like at his age.
At this age, if he has it one more time, he's probably retired at that
Yeah.
point. I think he's like 30, 32.
Now, I'm not saying
30 on
he's
the
not a
dot.
good player.
He's 30 on the dot.
I'm not saying
Okay.
that this
No, he still got it.
this trade does not make Houston on paper better. Makes them on paper much better.
That's like saying you'll like this. That's like saying DeAndre Hopkins is a quarterback killer with all of the with the Cardinals and with the Texans when he was with Watson. He was the quarterbacks. They weren't really going much. They weren't winning. He was putting up good numbers, but then he gets traded and then cut, and then is now with another team. He's like 31, 32.
Yeah. With Watkins, though, he had more beef with the coach. He had more beef with O'Brien
Hopkins.
and the franchise. Talking about Hopkins,
okay.
yes. And then he goes to Arizona, and Cliff Kingsbury, that train wreck happens, and he's like, just get me out.
Yep.
And then he goes to Mike Vrabel, who he's been with, knows, and then now Mike Vrabel gets fired, but that's not his.
That's
not his
really
fault.
his fault.
Hopkins' issues have never really been his fault.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's Diggs' fault.
But he plays a part.
Yeah.
But there's a trend that we're kind of looking at is like, okay, maybe he's at least culpable.
The attitude with Diggs compared to what Hopkins is going through is completely different.
Yeah.
It is.
So, I don't know. It's interesting. But Houston, I mean, they look primed to make a run. Because, I mean, you look at their offense. We were talking about it before the show. You've got Mixon, Pierce. You've got on the receiver, you got Nico Collins, Tank Dell. You've got Steph. You bring back Dalton Schultz. So
O-line still top 10.
O-line's pretty solid.
One thing I do worry about is what was the thing that Diggs was complaining about with the Bills?
Touches.
And now you're going into an offense that now has
5-6 weapons.
Yeah, 5 receiving weapons right off the bat, and then a dual-headed beast at running back. It's just it is so unlikely for it to all of them to get consistent touches enough to where it's like they won't be upset. So I'm kind of worried in that regards for the Texans and Diggs.
And I'm worried for DeMeco Ryans because, I mean, you take a look at him, right? I mean, he's a second-year head coach. All of the players he's played with, at least on the offensive side, minus Laramie Tunsil, are young.
Yeah.
So he's got pretty easy access and or at least the ability to talk to them. Yeah. Stephon Diggs has been in the league a long time. Mm-hmm. Not to say that DeMeco Ryans hasn't either, and he doesn't have his medals and he's got his scars like everybody else. But as a second-year head coach, I mean, how is he going to handle Diggs different? Because he's got to handle him differently than the young guys.
I think Diggs understands now. If this was me, because I know me and I know I'm competitive, so I understand most really outspoken competitive people, athletes. Diggs was the only receiver out there. Let's be real. Gabe Davis was.
He was not a wide receiver, too. Yeah. And even if he was, he had a terrible year last year.
Well, he's getting paid like a wide receiver. Too.
Who got him? The Jags?
The Jags.
Yeah. I did not like that pickup at all.
Right? You have no other receivers. Yeah, he getting bracket, double team. He's getting press jammed. He's getting met with the nickel back and lineman. He's getting met with everybody. Right? Stephon, he's the one. Every time Allen forced him the ball in close yard situations, that's automatic glue hands. That was automatic.
There was one I remember where it was he passed it to him in the Chiefs game in the
That
playoffs.
was the bomb that he dropped.
No, and it was the
there's that one. There's
that's
that
not
one.
even the one I was talking about.
He did drop.
There was one
that was going to be a first down at the end of the game. That he dropped. I know exactly what you're talking about.
This is actually a bit earlier. Allen kind of like overthrew him, but he could have easily at least got his hand up and hit, like at least got something on the ball to basically knock it down. But he didn't do anything, and the ball just went by him. And he was very lucky that who's the young guy for the Chiefs, the cornerback? Yeah, McDuffie. If it wasn't for McDuffie jumping into the line to try and grab it, you had Snead right there who was going to pick it off and just run for the end zone.
Yeah, I know exactly which play you're talking about.
In general, Diggs is. I don't get it. I don't get why they haven't tried to get him the ball. I don't, as much as they had in the past when they actually had success. Because with Diggs, that was the actual start of Allen getting much better as a quarterback.
That was his one.
Yeah, and now you're losing him, and it's kind of the same way. It's kind of they're now kind of in the similar path as that of what the Chargers are in right now. They have really no receivers.
Not a single receiver.
And, Curtis Samuel. But
no,
outside
not a
of
receiver.
That,
not one.
But outside of that, it's just a barren wasteland. And this is
Curtis Samuel was the name that came.
Not one.
That was crazy.
Not one single receiver.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting.
That was crazy.
But we got to get out of here. We'll talk about this much more hopefully next week. But, guys, again, big shout-out to Paige Hearn for directing this, and Isabella for doing Crunch Time. Big shout-out to Doc V, David Ellison, Steve Sawyer for making the show happen. Big shout-out to you guys. Hopefully we'll be back next week with the normal cast and crew, Reese doing his thing on the golf course. But, yeah, this is Role Players. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.